Always a lot of fun when we get to hang out with C. Mark and John Mark. It is the law firm of Warren and Griffin. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Ain't it good
to
be alive
and in Tennessee?
Yes, it certainly is.
The topic we're going to try to get as much information in today as possible, and it's something many of us don't even think about. Uber safety.
Yes. Uber safety, rideshare safety, Uber and Lyft. A lot of people are taking Ubers.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there was last year 9.8 billion rides in Uber.
Wow.
And almost 1 billion rides in Lyft. So there's a lot of traveling going on in those rideshare vehicles.
You do see a lot of those vehicles right here in and around Chattanooga.
Right.
They've got the lights on them or the signs or both. It's kind of surprising. What happens if you're involved through no fault of your own and your driver with a ride share gets in a wreck?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, right? I mean, because Uber does carry liability insurance up to $1 million per driver. So
how many?
$1 million.
And typically the driver that's driving for the rideshare company also has insurance. So there's typically a policy on the driver, and then Uber carries a policy as well.
So if the Uber driver is negligent, say the Uber driver is tinkering with their phone and their map and they run a stop sign and the passenger is hurt as a result of that negligence, the passenger has a claim against Uber driver and Uber for up to $1 million. Now, if that Uber driver ran a stop sign and hit another vehicle, that vehicle also has a claim against the Uber driver and Uber.
Well, and the scenario we have to be concerned about is one of the things that Uber is not required to have, and the drivers aren't necessarily required to have, and that's uninsured motorist coverage. So if you're traveling in an Uber and it's involved in a crash as a fault of the other vehicle, not the Uber driver, then if that driver doesn't have any insurance, your recovery, you can utilize your own uninsured motorist coverage, so you better have it.
And it's important to note also that Tennessee did at one time require Uber to carry uninsured motorists.
But
Georgia still requires Uber drivers to carry uninsured motorists for that situation right there.
And the Uber business model is still fairly new, and therefore it's still kind of evolving. So what should you do if you're involved in that situation, or what should you not do if you're in that wreck?
Well, certainly, one of the things that we tell people they should have is you should always purchase uninsured motorist coverage. You should always have it on your own policy. It's cheap insurance compared to what you're paying for liability insurance.
Yep.
And it protects you when you're injured by a driver who's negligent, who doesn't have insurance. Now, one of the problems that you can have is sometimes you have individuals that are using Uber, using Lyft, that don't have a vehicle or they don't have coverage, and that's the reason they're using them. And that's kind of an unfortunate situation that Tennessee doesn't require that uninsured motorist coverage on the vehicle, which would cover that person like they do in Georgia. So you've got to purchase it. You've got to have it.
Because also 25% of the drivers out there don't have insurance. Right. Do not have insurance.
25%.
25%. 1 out of 4 cars on the road don't have insurance.
To protect yourself.
Because really, if times are tough and you have to start watching your bills, one of the first things that you let go is insurance.
Exactly.
To buy groceries.
And that will come back and bite you in the butt every time.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let me ask you guys this. What about if you're in one of the rideshare vehicles and you're concerned about your personal safety after you're already in the car and a few miles down the road?
It's amazing. From 2017 to 2022, there were over 400,000 reports of sexual misconduct involving an Uber.
Exactly.
Involving over 400,000 in 5 years. You don't hear about that because Uber has 9 billion rides every year. Every year?
Exactly.
Multiply that out. How much money are they making off that? And yet, we don't hear anything about that.
So there's some things that
we've only got like 30 or 40 seconds left, but in a nutshell, what do you do if you are concerned about your personal safety and you're already a few miles away?
Start when you get in the vehicle.
Right.
Make sure you verify who you're getting the vehicle with is who's on the Uber app. You'll have the name, you'll have the make of the car, you'll have the tag number. Also, Uber and Lyft have a emergency button on their apps now if you have some concern. Don't rely on that because some of our research shows it's not always reliable. The one thing to do if you're a vulnerable rider is make certain you're in contact with somebody, either on your phone, you have it handy.
There's a rideshare app.
Good advice and something many of us probably have not thought about. John Mark, good to see you as always. C. Mark, same to you, my brother. And again, ain't it great to be alive and to be in Tennessee? We're going to be talking more Solid Orange almost here before you know it. Check out their website or give them a call, 265-HURT. We'll see you at noon.